Good morning. In this week's Torah portion, it talks about sacrifices, which are for atonement for sin. The word atonement could also mean at one mint. When a person sins, they detach themselves from God. Atonement is when they reconnect and become at one with God again. But we also detach ourselves from our inner essence, from our soul, when we commit a sin. Matter of fact, when the Torah talks about a sin, the Torah says a soul, nefesh, ki techta, that will commit a sin. And our rabbis say, why does it say a soul that will commit a sin? Is it the soul that committed the sin? The body committed the sin. The rabbis give an analogy of a lame and blind person who wanted to steal fruit from an orchard. The lame person couldn't get to the fruit. The blind person couldn't see where the fruit was. So the blind person said to the lame person, why don't you get on my shoulders and you'll tell me where to walk and we'll steal the fruit together. So too, the soul cannot do anything without the body, but the body is lame without the soul. So therefore it's the body and the soul that commit the sin together. But the question then is, why did God make us with a body and a soul? Why did the soul have to come down into a body and thereby even have the capacity to sin? When the soul was in heaven, it was pure. It couldn't commit any sins. Now we have this schizophrenic character where we have a body and a soul that are at odds with each other. And so the Rabbi said we could once said we could learn a lesson from the game of chess. You know, in chess, you have the king, and all the other pieces are there to protect and to serve the king. The king, of course, is God. Then you have the queen. The queen is the manifestation of God in this world. God's divine energy that animates and creates and energizes the world to function. Then you have the bishop, the knight, and the horse. They're like the different angels that we talk about in the prayers. They jump around, they move around. And then you have the pawns. The pawns are the human beings. Now the pawns move at the slowest pace, one step at a time, and they often get knocked down. But when the pawn perseveres and makes it to the end of the board, it can transcend itself and become anything it wants, including a queen, thereby enjoying the greatest intimacy with the king. And that's the message. Yes, angels, which are like the knights and the horses and the bishops, can fly across the board, but they always remain a knight, a bishop, or a horse. However, the pawns, if they persevere, and if they get knocked down, they get back up again. They atone for their sin, and they make it to the other side. They could transform themselves into anything they want. That's the opportunity that every human being has. And just like in a game of chess, you have the white side and the black side. In life, you have the forces of good and the forces of evil. Both sides are equally equipped. The question is, who will play better? Who will fight with more determination and perseverance? Who will have a better strategy? And who will win? As we watch the forces of light and darkness play itself out today in Ukraine and the world, we have to ask ourselves, will we be like those pawns that will transcend themselves and go beyond our natural abilities to become something that we were created to become? Human beings could descend into the abyss like someone like Putin, or we could rise to the greatest heights like Zelensky. Every person has to play this game of life and make sure that, like the pawn that becomes the queen, we make it and transcend ourselves and become our best version of ourselves. Have a wonderful day.